Welcome to another GCBASIC demonstration. This is part 20, a summary for the 18FQ20. Please like and subscribe the video, let it run all the way through. Thank you. So this is the last video for this particular chipset. I'll get started on another chipset pretty soon. But let's have a look at what we've seen. We've seen how to install software, make the hardware work, and we saw some very simple LED stuff right at the start. Then we made that flash. What that flash meant, we were using some of the controller internals. Then we used the ADC. Then we sequenced the ADCs with the concepts of loops and variables. And then we use an input. And then we use the reset switch, that's the master clear switch, as an input and an out as an input. And then we brought that all together and we sequenced the LEDs and made them go backwards and forwards. We then used serial. At number 9, we did timers, overflows, 8-bit, 16-bit. We used EEPROM. Then we moved on to some of the interface protocols like I2C. Then we showed a graphical LCD for I2C and SPI. Then we used pulse width modulation, 7 ways to dim these LEDs as a way of showing you all the varieties that you've got. Using interrupts, then using storage like the program memory, the SAF memory, the EEPROM, and large data blocks. Then we use CLC to have essentially codeless operations from a switch to the LED. Then we looked at the tool chain, lots of pieces to the suite. Then we looked at MPLAB usage and how to use a debugger, and then this summary. Because GCBASIC is open source, you can use it for PIC API LGTs, you've seen all that. But you can take the code and you can adapt it yourself. You can create your own libraries, as many people will do for the Q20s. I've only shown you a scratch of what the Q20 can do. Huge capabilities. They don't all get included in the core toolchain. You can write your own libraries, write your own basic or assembly to make this Q20 chip work. And you've seen it's a cross-platform, that's Windows and Linux, with common code translation. You've seen how the core compiler, you can take your source code and libraries and will generate a hex file without really any additional tools. But you've also seen you can actually take that, you can push that into different linkers and assemblers if you wish, don't you? What we're going to do now, we're going to look at some tutorials and just show you PIC18, PIC18, but I should show you PIC18. Quite important to show you that. Let me look at DeskCam. Yeah, look, I've had a PIC18 attached to this the whole time. I could have chosen a PIC18. I chose a 2. I could have chosen a 3, but I really should show you a 4 or 5 because it's the same. Let's look at Zen mode. Here's Zen mode. Zen mode, great. Let's have a look at some code, shall we? Very simple. Control B. I'm just going to open up the summary examples, 320, and close that down. And all it is, it's just going to flash the LED. The purpose of this is we're just going to see it program. That's all it's going to do. It's just going to program. It's done it. There you go. A few seconds. And it's programmed it. It's now flashing as it was before. So if I want to change it to this, I do this, plug it into the USB, I unplug the PIC18, I plug my PIC18 in, and I'm going to change my configuration. How do I do that? In the Preferences editor. So Function key F4, Edit Preferences, and it will open up the Preferences editor. You've seen this many times. Put it in the window. And what I'm going to do is change the program. I'm going to drag. Let me have a look which one I want. I want the PIC18 with where is it? I want PIC18. I'm using external power. PIC18 using, there you go, PIC18F command line interface for PIC using external power. And I've got external power on this, so that's the one I want. Press OK. And I just change the configuration. I'm not changing batch files or anything. It just changes the configuration. And it will work for us. If I press function key F5 or make hex and flash, it will compile it, the same as it was before. It will download it using, as it says on the bottom of the screen there, PK4 command line interface for PIC using external power. If you haven't got external power, you could take the other option, but you've got to make sure you don't draw too much current from the PIC18F. They're not as robust as a PIC18F2. Okay, robust is a good word. And there we go. It works. It programs. A bit slower, all works fine. It's just moving a hex file down your USB port. It's just a dongle. It's pretty simple. So what else can we do? What else is impressive? Well, I think this is pretty impressive. I'm going to open up a demo called First Sample. I'm just going to take that and delete it. And then I'm going to go into CoPilot. CoPilot is Microsoft's AI engine. Right. Oh, here's what I did earlier. Absolutely did earlier. I asked the question. Okay. Write a basic program for a Q20 that flashes the LED on port C7. That was the question that I asked it. I will change it just to prove to you it works. Every, if I can get this right, 100 milliseconds. Copy that, put it back into GC code, press function key F5. Takes a bit longer. I should have put the PIC18F2 back on, to be quite frank. I don't like these pauses. Let's look at Zen mode. I did change the LED. I said put it on port C6. That is C6. Hey, let's change the code. Let's change our code here. Oh no, I want to do it. I want to take a copy of my question. On port C7, C6, C5, and C.4. I don't know what it will do. Wow. To tell you what, that's going to work because that looks like perfect code. I cut it from the AI engine and pasted it directly in. Pregnant pause whilst it's thinking about programming it. The green one is flashing correctly, and the others are flashing. I wonder if I could do it. In sequence, I don't know what it will do here. I've never tried this. Oh, that's a real kludge, but it will do the trick. It's a real tough, it's an odd way of doing things. I wouldn't have done it that way. But do you know what? It might do it that way in C. I wouldn't have done it that way. It's going to do it. Point here is there's enough GCBASIC source code and documentation upon GitHub and on the web now that AI engines have consumed it. Now, they may have consumed it because I'm always asking questions, but it seems to be working quite well. S closed down. All the source code is on GitHub. It's actually in the demonstrations. There's a demonstration installer, and you can get that when you start up GC Studio. You can actually install it, and this is the Q20 chip range demonstrations. There's a set of tutorials. All the PowerPoints are in the tutorials folder. So GCBASIC supports the Q20, lots of capabilities. There are more capabilities. Just look how these are written and just make the rest work. GCBASIC supports 32, 64-bit operating systems because we maintain compatibility with XP. We do. It works. Sorry about that. And with that, we'll call it a wrap. Enjoy.